Spent countless hours in the garage with your dad. Now investing in that old car and working on it with your son reminds you of him. And his legacy lives on. Fund your passion with a low-interest home equity line of credit from Bank of Blue Valley.
Hi, Michael Mackey.
Hi, Aaron Fulk. How's the East Coast?
Oh my gosh, you guys, it's so hard to remember time zones. Do you think it's hard to remember time zones?
Time zones are hard. They'll get you every time.
They're so hard, and I always think we're going the opposite way of what we're going, and it's 4 o'clock here. I'm almost done with my day. You guys are just halfway through yours.
And I hear that you have a lovely view outside your window, young lady.
It's pretty sick. It's pretty sick. I'm here. So sometimes we go, you know this, Michael, we go with clients to do live social at their events, also do videography, photography, and stuff like that. So Sander from our team and I are here, and they were very kind, and they put me in a beachfront 2-bedroom suite, just me. So if anyone wants to come over and party, just kidding. I don't know.
Party in West. Where are you? Westchester. Party in Westchester.
Party somewhere. Yeah.
Party in Westchester. And then have you been to Connecticut before? Does this check off a box?
No, I'm going to get one of those maps and like cross it off. I've never been to Connecticut, but everybody here is really nice. I'm going to tell you the craziest thing I ever did yesterday. It's not the craziest, but everybody else thought it was crazy. I thought it was normal. So it's a little town, so they have DoorDash, but not like DoorDash, like everything. It's just like a few things because I guess the closest city is like 30 minutes away or whatever. And this girl was like door dashing, like, I don't know, something from the grocery store or something. And I was like, I didn't bring a swimsuit. I just forgot. I don't know why. And so I asked her if she knew where to get a swimsuit. And then like, I just like hired her on the side. Like I was like, well, can I go to go find me a swimsuit somewhere and bring it to me? And all the people were like, seriously, you just asked her? And you know what? She did it, and it was great. And I got swimsuit.
There you go. That's
you just gotta ask.
You can't win if you don't play.
Right. That's kind of what I thought. How is everything back in Kansas City? I haven't got any 911 calls.
You haven't got any 911 calls, but the day is young, so knock on wood. You know, we still have, it's only 3 o'clock here, so it can still go sideways. It's lovely today, actually.
Is it nice?
Yeah, nice weather out. So what's it like over in Connecticut?
You know, it's nice. There's just an ocean right there.
It's nice, I like. And you're only like 45 minutes away from the Big Apple, right?
Yeah. So I just thought I'd swing through, catch some Broadway. Just kidding. I wish. But listen, I'm so excited. So Scott was actually going to host today. He's out with a family emergency. So thank you for dealing with my exhaustedness. I think all of our marketing said it was going to be you and Scott. So people are like, where's Scott? But sorry, you got to deal with me. We have a great panel today. We are short one because there's a couple emergencies. I leave town, you guys start having emergencies. But we have a really great panel, all-boy panel today, plus Aaron Fulk. So real quick, I do want to thank Bank of Blue Valley and Burns & McDonnell for sponsoring the show. They're the best sponsors ever. If you are watching the show, let us know if you are watching from Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube. Paul Vogel says he's watching on a 1984 Mac with 64K of RAM. Never gets less funny, Paul. Just keep it up. Paul's actually really funny. He comes up, he's pretty much out of things to say because he's been doing it for
Paul is on his Commodore 64. And
Paul, you can just start over because, like, you know, that was so long ago when you started. You could say LinkedIn next week and you could just start over. I think it's fine, right? Okay. I do want to put in one plug just because I'm sure there's millions of people watching and this is very important. If anybody has extra Matt Rife tickets and they want to either take me or sell them to me, my birthday is in October, 2 weeks before the Matt Rife show, and I would really like to go. Thank you.
The comedian who is a hot ticket.
It's the hottest ticket. And I'm like, just try. This is the worst part of being single is like, usually this would be what I ask for my birthday, but now I'm just asking from drinks. for the ticket. So if anybody wants to take me or like sell me their tickets, I would love to go. Okay, I just need one. It's just me, myself, and I. So I was gonna take
If I take you, just give you the ticket. They don't even need to go with you because they can just give you.
Go with me.
Right, exactly.
I'm so okay going by myself. I was gonna take my son, but it's a 21 and over show.
Oh.
So he can't go.
Because he's raunchy or because the theater is I didn't know that.
But it said 21 and over, so I can't go with him. He's like my plus one, so I don't know what to do. Okay, let's talk business. Nobody cares about my birthday. October 12th. Okay, that's all.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. When was that again?
October 12th. Just mark it on your calendar.
Don't tell me.
It's fine.
Right.
I'm just a single girl who will get no other presents except for cards from my kids. So if you want them out, it's fine. Okay, let's bring out our people. Let me get this awesome music that we have. It's so great.
Boom, boom, boom.
All right, do you want to do the intros? You're good at this.
I would love to do the intros. First out of the gate, we have Fabian Conde. He is the Director of Business Development at Outbound AI. Hi, Fabian. Next up is the legendary Glenn Fisher. He's the Chief Executive Officer at NavMD. And then finally, we have Christopher, I hope I don't butcher this, Buono. Do you know Buono? Did I get that right? Please tell me I did. He's the Chief Executive Officer for Bijoux Crème family of products. Gentlemen, welcome. Thanks for being here today on Drinks with Leaders.
Yay!
Glad to be here. Thanks for having us. Yeah.
All of you, you guys know the drill off the bat. I want the 411 and I want it big time. So Fabian, for you, young man, where did you come from? How did you end up in Kansas City? What do you do? Tell me all the things. Go.
That's like the Cotton Eye Joe song. Like, where did you come from? Where did you go?
Where did you come from, Fabian?
Yeah. So born and raised in Kansas City. That's how I ended up here. And like so many Midwesterners, I got that itch to leave and, got to see different parts of the world. And my heartstrings just pulled me back. There's something special about Kansas City. So I moved back a few years ago. And what was the third question, Michael?
What do you do now, my friend? What are you up to?
What I'm up to. I am the Director of Business Development over at a company called Outbound AI, and we are automating the phone work in healthcare.
You had me at AI. Tell me more. I'm curious.
Yeah, absolutely. So part of a branch in AI is conversational AI, and think of kind of like Siri or Alexa. But what we're doing is we have virtual agents that make automated outbound phone calls to insurance companies. That's where we're starting.
Now, are those I might have missed something, but are those actual real people?
No, they're actual robots. So the words that we
technology
use for the robot, yes, is a virtual agent. So it's actually a robotic program that makes these phone calls autonomously.
Now, how long have you been there and what's the best part of your job, Fabian?
Yeah, I have been here since October 2022, and we came to market in January 2023. So the company is fairly young. They started building the actual product itself about 2 years ago in 2021. So again, I came in as part of the first wave of the go-to-market team. The best part of my job is that, number one, I work remotely. So working from home is nice, even though I miss people and interacting in person. But I think that the best part about it is I just get to work with people all over the country and around the world because U.S. healthcare has actually become an international industry.
Now, where is Outbound AI based out of?
They are based out of Seattle, Washington, the Seattle-Tacoma area. And, that's where our executives and our engineers are predominantly based. And then we have pockets around the country. We have a pocket of our customer success and another part of our engineering team in Southern California. But we actually, exciting enough, we have our commercial team centralized in Kansas City.
Oh, nice. How convenient.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you said we're starting with insurance. What is the roadmap for, do you guys have the roadmap laid out of where you will go after that?
Yeah, there's a lot of calls that are being made to patients as well. So that's the next step in the roadmap, would be having our virtual agents make these calls to patients. And then from there, I think the more expanded roadmap outside of healthcare, we can start looking at things like finance, and banking would be probably the next segment we tap into.
Nice. Okay, so let me ask this question. So you had a career change since the last time you were on this show, right? What drove that decision? And if anything, what would you do different when making that decision or pursuing a new career? I guess talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think that's really timely and topical. Previously, I was with a company called 3DHQ. They're fantastic. They're here in Kansas City. They focus on 3D printing, right? And through a variety of, I guess, ways to 3D print, they've tapped into a lot of industries. I think that the number one factor for me was, I'm getting married. I want to start a family. I think that my own financial security played a really big role in me making a move. I got presented with an opportunity that I couldn't refuse. And I was able to, I think, move into an industry that, it's one of the biggest driving factors to our national GDP. Healthcare is probably one of the bigger problems that we need to solve as a society. And I just saw a lot of opportunity there. I think in terms of doing things differently, relationships are really important. And I think that they're also fragile, and it's important to leave in the right way, and then to maintain relationships in the right way. And that's easier said than done. But looking back at it, I think that I could have been more graceful in terms of how I maintained relationships, moving from one industry to another.
Fun fact, that's actually how I met you back in the day, was at 3DHQ 100 million, billion, zillion years ago. So yes, so congrats on your new gig.
Thank you.
All right, Glenn, who are you? What do you do? And how do you get to Kansas City?
And what does your shirt say? Let's
huddle.
Okay. I was dying to know. I was like, it could be anything.
Well, hey, thanks for having me on the show. So I grew up in Louisville, Kentucky, went to school out west at Arizona, and then I spent 6 years in the Marine Corps in the Air Wing. And then after all that was said and done, my parents were living in Dallas, so I went back to Dallas, and that's where I met my wife. And my wife grew up in Kansas City, and so when I made my first trip up here to visit, I just fell in love with the city. I mean, it's a great place to raise a family. It's a great place to buy a house. I mean, it's clean, it's safe. So I moved here in 1990. I've been here ever since, been on a entrepreneurial journey. And now I'm in the health analytics space. I think Fabian, mentioned this, but, when you look at health benefits, it's pretty ugly. 172 million Americans get their health benefits from their employer. And over the past 20 years, the cost of healthcare has gone from $1.2 trillion to over $4 trillion. The C-suite, they're frustrated. They think, the number two expense on their P&L is uncontrollable, and employees are getting buried in debt because of contribution rates, deductibles, co-pays. And, during that same period, inflation has rose 71%, earnings were up 103%, but employee premiums increased a whopping 288%. And that's why 2/3 of all bankruptcies are related to medical debt. So, my mission is to partner with the most innovative companies in America to revolutionize health benefits one plan at a time.
So how do you do that?
Yeah, great question. So all the strategies are out there to fix this. The blueprint for fixing health benefits starts with data, and that's where we come in. We have a health intelligence platform that supports advisors, TPAs, carriers, and most importantly, employers. So once you get access to the data, you can understand what's happening, and then we've built and modeled out what you can do about it. And that's where the most important piece is, because it's easy to say, hey, what happened and why did it happen? And then we also predict what's going to happen if you do nothing, which we know in 5 years, the rates are going up on average 61% over that period of time. And then where we spend most of our time is partnering and bringing in solutions. So that's why, you talked about AI. I built a platform called Claims AI. That's basically a compliance tool that reviews and recovers money for the plan and families, because about 5 to 15% of all claims that are paid have been paid incorrectly.
I have a question on that. How many businesses do you currently see that pay the entire premium for their employees? And has that number gone down because it's gone so much higher, or has that number gone up?
Oh, yeah, that's a great question. So I can just share my perspective from it. It's rare that employers pay 100% of the cost for health benefits. It used to be a pretty common thing, 30 years ago when I started in business, but now it's gone up. And so here's what the C-suite does typically when they get their renewal or they go, okay, well, hey, why don't you remodel my plan? Which means let's give our people crappier coverage. Let's increase how much we're going to charge for that crappier coverage. And then I'll take a hit to my bottom line. Those are the 3 levers that happen every single year. But it doesn't have to be that way. I can show you time and time and time again, like Shine Solar. They used to have 80 employees and now they have 300 employees, and they fueled their growth with the savings of their plan. They saved $750,000, but they went from a $5,000 deductible to a $0 deductible, and there's 0 copay, 0 everything. So they got better coverage, saved $750,000, and their employees are ecstatic.
But is this something that you have to do you have to have a lot of employees to be able to figure that out? Or do small businesses? Do you work with small businesses? Like, how many people do you have to work with?
Yeah, so our smallest plan on our platform is 18 people.
Okay.
That's the smallest employer, and the largest is hundreds of thousands.
Right. I didn't know if the savings came with the more people. So
No, unfortunately not. It's pretty much the same kind of thing, whether you're 18 or 100,000, just a bigger impact.
Right. $750,000.
Yeesh.
How long have you been doing this?
Bought the company in 2019. And when I found it, I was like, this is it. Because, man, I'm sitting in the C-suite. It's one of the most frustrating things, continuing to give your people work, crappier coverage, making them pay more for it. And then, the hit to the bottom line doesn't help either. Because, like, if $1,000 hit to my bottom line, or I'm sorry, $100,000 hit to my bottom line, which means that, it impacts my enterprise value by about $700,000. So all these businesses I've sold over the years and have been frustrated with the cost of benefits, I could have made more money with the sale if I would have known what I know today.
How did you weather? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. How did you weather the pandemic? Did that have its ups and downs?
It didn't, because it didn't. The only way it affected our business model is if people let people go, and we had a slight fluctuation in revenue by less than 18%. But then, of course, once the pandemic was kind of through, then all the hiring levels went back up again.
Like I asked Fabian, do you have a favorite or best part of your job?
Oh man, the impact is it. Like seriously, it's what I get up every day for. I've been involved in a lot of businesses. I have loved every minute of the people I got to serve in all those businesses. But this one, there's nothing like it.
I could ask you a million questions. We do pay 100% at Lily and James. And every year, that's the one thing where people say, you've got to cut back on that. You've got to cut back on that, right? When they look at numbers. And it's just crazy that's right now the solution versus... Okay, I do have one more question I want to ask you. So the other thing that I've learned a lot, I've been really obsessed with, is direct primary care, right?
Yeah.
Many people are using it as a solution. So What are your thoughts? Like, how does, I guess, where does that come in when you're having conversations? Is that even a conversation? Is that do you see that as a competitor? What is that to you?
Oh my gosh, that's a huge conversation. It's not a competitor at all. We are an insights platform that identify opportunities in the data. And one of the top 5 things you can do with your health plan is to look at a direct primary care type solution, because it's about 30% less than going through the insurance company, carving out that direct primary care, charging a flat rate. The employees get better service. They have a doctor available 24/7. They can text them, they can call them, and they spend more time with their doctor. So that means they're going to be healthier. On average, if you don't have a direct primary care physician, you're spending about 7 minutes a year with your doctor. Not a lot of time. So yes, the answer is 100% yes. And we model all those strategies out. And guess who's on our platform? The largest direct primary care company in America, Amazon, One Medical. They're on our platform. They use our platform to fuel their clinical team.
Oh, that's cool. Okay. I like it.
I feel like you and Fabian should get together and go bowling and just hash everything out. I feel like that's in your future, Glenn.
I'm down with that. Let's do it. When you want to bowl?
I'm not scared. Anytime you want.
All right. We're gonna
Keep bringing people together.
That's right.
Why bowling? Like, how did you choose that?
I don't know. I just made it up.
It's a random sport. I've learned a lot about pickleball this week. Maybe you guys could play pickleball.
Either one works for me. I mean, pickleball, we'll need a couple more players. I'm not going to play them one-on-one. I've done that before. I don't want to get that sweaty.
Maybe this is a segue to get Chicken and Pickle to be the 3rd sponsor of the show.
I'm down for it. That would be, we could host there. I've got all sorts of ideas. I could turn this into a whole marketing opportunity. Thank you, Fabian. All right, Chris, who are you? What do you do? How do you get to Kansas City?
Hey, I'm Chris Buono. I'm CEO of Bijoux Crème, launched mid-COVID, so about a year and a half ago. And we produce gourmet or artisanal compound flavored butter. Boy, I'll tell you, mid-COVID, I was just looking for a change. I have a long career in technology and just wanted to do something different, just do a career shift, got a little bored with technology. Of course, sometimes I wish I had jumped on the AI bandwagon, but it wasn't meant to be. I went back to my culinary roots. And so, right now I'm in the kitchen, spent a day in the kitchen. Hopefully I'm stain free from the, from the chest up. Came to Kansas City 3.5 years. So COVID, it was just before COVID hit. I was the trailing spouse following my wife here from the Northeast. We were living in the Berkshires of Massachusetts. And I came here, actually did some work in insurance for a while and healthcare. But then, as I said, decided to switch gears.
So how do you get into butter?
Yeah, boy. So I have had, my first chosen profession was to be a chef. So it's not a stretch for me to go from technology to food. I've got my business degree, my MBA, and I really just kind of wanted to be entrepreneurial for much of my life, but I had a good run in technology. One day, my daughter just starts chanting exotic butter, and I started rolling the idea around in my head, got in the kitchen. This is like, well, can I make exotic butter? What even is that? And it turns out I can. So now, 14 months. Go ahead. Sorry.
How old was she when she said this?
Oh, let's see. She was 9 years old, I think.
And where'd she come up with it? How does she randomly start chatting?
So it's funny because she's 12 now. If I ask her, she has no idea where she came up from it. There were no billboards around. There was no signage. She was just kind of skipping and chanting. But the funny part is that whenever I mention it, she's like, "Yeah, where's my 10%?"
Yeah. I like her thinking entrepreneurs.
Yeah. I want to know more about your product line. Tell me about your exotic butters.
Yeah, sure. So started out with 6 flavors. Now currently have 8. Are in over 100 stores nationwide, but primarily throughout the Midwest. That's in 14 months since we launched. It's been good. I know you're going to ask the question. I'll answer it right now. Like, what's your favorite part? It's the feedback. When you cook, right? Sometimes we cook for ourselves, but often we're cooking for other people. And getting that feedback, like this is how I use it, and this is how it changed our Thanksgiving meal, or I was eating it by the spoonfuls at midnight, and I couldn't believe how good it was. And it's that kind of feedback which fuels me.
What's your favorite flavor that you make?
Oh boy. It kind of depends on my mood, but the mango habanero is probably my favorite.
Oh,
how did you come up with your flavors?
Well, as I said, somewhere in the process of getting in the kitchen, just seeing like, can I even do this? Is this even a viable business? I just started kind of mashing things together, and the whole sweet and salty or sweet and spicy is something that's interested me for a long time, and that was just one of the combinations. I remember that day well because I had about 4 pounds of butter in the kitchen, and about 2 hours later, I was like, okay, there is such thing as too much butter. But yes, it kind of whittled down to 10 flavors, and then eventually 8, and finally to 6.
Now,
okay, sorry, I was going to ask what the most wild flavor you attempted to make was.
Oh, wild flavor. You know what? There was something that I couldn't just get right, or just couldn't get right. I don't know how wild, but it's the that seafood spice, Zaharian. Did I pronounce that correctly? People put it on like crawfish and what. No, nobody knows this. It's like anyway. It's like a dry powder spice, but I just couldn't get it right. So I ended up abandoning that one.
If mango habanero is your favorite, is there a clear-cut like most popular flavor?
Oh yeah, so garlic and herb by far 2-to-1 outsells the rest. But that's like how we reel them in. That's how we hook them, garlic and herb, and all of a sudden they're like, "Hey, this is good. Like what else can we try?"
Where do you sell your butter?
Yeah, good question. So locally, Hen House, Price Chopper, Hy-Vee, Fairway. Hope I'm not missing anybody. Fairway is by far our biggest customer. It turns out they have about 140 stores throughout the Midwest. And then beyond that, in the St. Louis area, there's Straub's. Oh my gosh, I don't want to forget anybody. Green Acres in Wichita. And there are also wholesale platforms which allow me to get kind of farther and wider coverage. So I just signed up a organic retail location in South Dakota. Just got another order from Colleyville, Texas. And so, yeah, it's as everyone knows who's on the panel, the first step to the marketing funnel is building awareness. And so that's, it's just about getting the word out there.
Okay, I have a really quick question because I'm confused. Are you talking about Fairway Meat Market?
Yeah, of course.
There's 140 of those?
Right. So we only have 2 in the area. So you'd think it's just some kind of mom and pop. Yeah, right. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
140.
with you.
Yeah, mostly out of Iowa, but kind of throughout the Midwest.
They have good fresh food in there.
For anyone who hasn't been there, you go in there and the butcher counter and the deli and the seafood. Like, if you ever thought to myself, where am I going to go for a 5-pound single lobster claw? Well, that's where you go.
There's just like randomly one at 151st and Plum. Just random. Like it's like right across from that private airport and it's just sitting there. But it's always packed even though there's nothing around it. I drive all the way there.
I love that store. Yeah.
Local place that just put this store right in the middle of nowhere. There must be farmers. They must be out here somewhere. That's what
I don't know. It's sparkling new, it's roomy, and they have all the best stuff there. So, I suspect in 10 years, we will not see that as the edge of Overland Park anymore. So we probably won't see that far out there.
That's true. That's so funny. I didn't know there was 140 stores. Look at everything I'm learning today. Okay, well, look, we got some comments. Lauren says compound butter is a game changer for her home cook. She loves this.
Thank you, Lauren.
And Paul says he's licking his monitor. Oh, Paul. All right. Well, guess what time it is, Michael?
Oh, is it time for the question of the day? The Burns and McDonnell question of the day?
Burns and McDonnell question of the day. So we're going to play the question, and the minute that she's done, Fabian, you can answer it. Here we go.
Hi, my name's Megan Johnson. I'm a technical recruiter for Burns & McDonnell, looking for the best and brightest talent nationwide. My question of the day is, what would your customers say about your business?
Go.
Our customers say it's game changing. You know, they spend anywhere from 4 minutes to 4 hours on a call trying to get an insurance representative on the phone. And again, our virtual agents do that for them. So it's an innovative product that has a real need in the healthcare industry now, especially with labor shortages. It's a game changer.
Yeah, as it relates to my business, there's three things. We typically work with the surrounding cast, advisors, TPAs, carriers. We help them win more business. We help them keep the business they have by making an impact and driving down costs. And then finally, we save them time, which is probably the most important out of those three, because then they're able to work on strategy instead of solution.
Yeah, well, I mean, you just saw a few of the comments, right? My customers are licking their monitors when they hear us talking. You know what? Yeah, there you go. Actually, one of the best moments I had, I started out in the Overland Park Farmers Market last year, and a family who had come by and bought some butter and tried some samples ended up being interviewed on the news. I think it was Fox 4. And then they came back and told me about it. So when I looked for it, you can tell that the interviewer is trying to encourage them to direct them to a vendor that's right next door because she's about to transition. And so the mom's like, no, we really like the butter. And so the interviewer goes to the kid and she's like, what's your favorite part? And he's like, yeah, it's the butter.
That's funny. Wait, you just were in farmers markets last year and now you're in all those stores?
Yeah. So really 14 months to 100 stores. Yeah.
How'd you do that?
Pounding the pavement. I mean, really, it's just, it's in-store demos. It's the farmer's market. It's making phone calls. It's networking. I mean, I like to say the product speaks for itself, but there are a lot of fine products out there. And so if that were it, that would be easy. So really, it's just about getting out there, getting word of mouth going, and balancing the distribution with customer demand.
Okay, sure.
Are there any grocers that are on your wish list?
Oh boy, so I'm in 5 local Hy-Vees. It's funny, even as of yesterday, I tried to call into corporate Hy-Vee. It's a bit of a maze there. So I would like to expand within Hy-Vee. That would be the dream. Certainly, like a Whole Foods also is an eventual dream. More in the near term, there's a group called Deerbirds in St. Louis, which I would love to get into. I think they have about 25 stores in the St. Louis area. So it's really just about, starting locally and then starting to work my way out, because then you get, it gets more complicated as you grow. So, distribution becomes an issue.
Hear me out. You ready?
Please. I'm ready.
Never give away my marketing ideas for free on here, but hear me out.
Okay.
You should start a TikTok channel, and I think you should get a butter costume. And I think you should go into the Hy-Vee and you should ask people history questions of butter and let them sample your butter while you're at it. And then you could go, it would be wild because people love mascots. For Gen Z and millennials, the younger millennials, they love mascots. So you could make a butter mascot. And then I think that Hy-Vee would call you because you'd have millions of views.
It sounds great. I'm on TikTok for anyone who wants to follow, but I have no mascot outfit yet. So
not yet.
Not yet.
What's your TikTok handle?
Bijoux Crème, BIJOUX CREME.
Okay, perfect. So you just let me know when you get your butter costume.
I'll let you know, Aaron. Sure.
No, okay, well, you can just write me a text.
No. I just, imagine calling you up and being like, Aaron, I got it. I got the costume.
And you go do just interview people about butter. This would be such good content. You're welcome. And I hope none of your competitors are watching, because if you don't get on it, they're going to steal it.
No, right. Yeah, I got to jump on that. Absolutely.
Okay, guys. First of all, can anybody else believe that it's September 12th? I absolutely just don't even understand what's going on with time. It's like a time warp. But as we go into Q4, a lot of people they've planned their Q4, but they're starting to plan 2024 now, right? As we go into Q4, they'll be planning 2024. So let's talk about, how are we going into Q4? Are we ahead of goals? Are we behind on goals? And how are we going to plan on finishing out the year? What is your plan on that? Go ahead, Fabian.
Yeah, absolutely. This was our first year to push into market. We identified medical billing companies as a segment that we really wanted to open up with. They're in the most need when it comes to labor shortages outside of health systems and practices. So we were able to partner with institutions like HBMA, which is the Healthcare Business Management Association, as well as HFMA, which is the Healthcare Financial Management Association, to really start building relationships. And, we've been ahead of schedule. We were projecting to have 10 customers by the end of 2022. We're at about 30 now, and we're just rounding out Q3 with more people onboarding. So for us, it's really just about continuing to expand into the segments that we've identified that have the need for the services that we're offering. So again, medical billing companies, health systems, like the University of Kansas Health System is a great example of a local institution here in town. And, going into Q4, it's also maturing our product. We have a lot of features that we've rolled out, like claims work, automated claims work, which is where, again, our virtual agents make these autonomous calls, and then rolling out things like automated explanation of benefits, right? Where we can get this fax to us when we make a call to the insurance company through their phone tree, right? So Chris was talking about navigating Hy-Vee's phone tree. Just think about that, but with healthcare. And yeah, our push continues to be expanding into market, partnering with the right companies so we can mature our products, and then expanding into even bigger players in 2023. We can start looking at practice management systems like Advanced MD, or even EMRs. We got into Epic's Apple Orchard, their App Orchard, which is where you can download our service through their app store. But that's it. It's just continuing that push to train that product.
Chris is being loud. I had to mute him. Sorry, Chris.
Hopefully that all makes sense.
Yes. So personal goals. How are you doing for your personal goals? Because I imagine you have personal goals too.
Absolutely. I love that. I appreciate that. So personally, I'm getting married on October 7th. So the wedding's it's like 3 weeks away. That's
weird, because I didn't get my invitation.
What was that?
I didn't see my invitation.
I must have got lost in the email.
And spam. I get it.
Wasn't I there for like the mini engagement party? I feel like I was.
And that was pretty spontaneous. You were.
You were,
Michael. It was at Scott's 1952 Speakeasy. And my fiance was actually down the street at Sidelines. They do amazing flowers. And she was her and her mom and our wedding planner were, having a meeting about flowers, which I didn't even know was a thing until I got engaged. And I invited him down. I asked Scott if it'd be okay, and it turned into like a mini impromptu engagement party.
Michael, did you get your invite to the wedding?
No, but I haven't checked my mail today yet. So
probably because I'm out of town.
Yeah, exactly. So between the wedding and then we're heading off to a honeymoon in Italy. That's it, making time for that and making sure that we enjoy this once in a lifetime opportunity, and then coming back and really finishing the year strong from a business perspective and trying to go to as many Chiefs games as I can in between.
You're not going to get cold feet, are you?
No way. I'm getting more excited as we lead into it, which I wasn't expecting, but I'm super excited for what's to come.
Are you happy with the flower choices? Because I mean, really,
top notch.
Okay.
Notch. Even gonna put it in the suit, almost like a lapel, so it's gonna feel like a 40-year-old prom. It's gonna be so sweet.
Too bad we won't be there because we didn't get invited. It's fine. All right, Glenn, where are you on both your work and I guess business and personal goals?
Yeah, so I feel really blessed. We're having an amazing year. When I acquired the company, it was a platform that you had to install on a PC. So obviously that doesn't work. I don't even own a PC. I'm a Mac guy. So I had to rewrite the whole thing and rebuild the whole thing. So, we have a new platform. It is rocking. We've grown in the first 2 quarters, year over year, 70%. And I believe we'll end up finishing the year somewhere between 150% and 175% growth. So I could not be happier with my team. I have some of the best people I've ever worked with in my career, working together, and it's a great run. Personally,
your whole team's remote, right? Sorry, I'm trying to understand.
No, we're headquartered right at 9800 Metcalf. We occupy a building there, so we're here. We have some remote people, but most of them are here.
Got it. Okay.
When do you sleep, Glenn?
I don't sleep very much. Did you get an email from me at like 4 o'clock in the morning or something?
4:15, but who's counting?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. I'm having a lot of fun. This is a blast. And you talked about personal goals. We love traveling. We just got back from Italy. We spent the month of October in Italy. It was the most amazing trip I've ever been on. So you're going to have such a great time. If you need any pointers or ideas, you let me know.
Again, another reason to go bowling with Fabian.
Yep.
Bowling.
You let me know when we're bowling.
Also, my birthday's in October, so if you're going out of town again and you have Matt Rife tickets, just let me know.
Yeah, I don't even know who that is, but where's he playing?
Midland. He is a comedian that. Can I just tell a 2-second story about Matt Rife, because I think it's a very motivational.
This is your show.
Thank you. Matt Rife is a comedian that for the past 8-10 years has just been grinding, just could not catch a break. And he went to the comedy festival in 2021. So just like the end of 2021. And somebody said, just start taking your stuff and putting it online. Because he does some audience work. Just put your audience work online. Because he was like, no, I don't want to put the same jokes because no one will come to the show. Just put the audience work online. And he's like, I don't like social media, which is what I hear every day from people, right? I don't want to put it out on social media, and whatever. Well, I think it was like his second or third video he did that weekend at the comedy thing, ended up getting like 25 million views, and he blew up, and he's become the top. His show sold out everywhere in 24 hours. Like, it's like wild. And it's a hot ticket. So, and now he's become like just a social media star. But he's just still putting his content work. He still really doesn't like social media, but it proves the power of content.
But he does need exotic butters.
He does. I wanted to jump in. I've seen him on TikTok. He is hilarious. And not only is he hilarious, but he's hilarious when he's interacting with the audience, which is very much off the cuff. So he's quick and he's funny, which is impressive.
And he's kind of old school where he which we aren't going to do on the show. So this is all I'm going to say. And then we're not going to give any examples. He broaches topics that other people won't, that other people have gotten real PC about. He's just not afraid to. And they're not canceling him. So he's like kind of going back to that old school comedy stuff. So, so you're going to have to look him up. And you should find him when he's in Kansas City in your butter costume if he likes exotic butters.
In your butter costume.
I'm just going to go everywhere in my butter costume.
It will make such good content. Okay, so do you have any awesome vacations planned right now, Glenn?
No, we just got back from spending a few days in Vail, and that's like God's country out there, just hiking and just enjoying some family time. My son just got married. He just got back from Greece for his honeymoon, and we're just trying to be good mother and father-in-laws, and hopefully good grandparents soon.
No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure.
I like that. Okay, and you're a big Chiefs fan, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We go to all the games.
I see that Chiefs thing back there.
Yes. Whoops, right there.
Also, let's huddle. What gave it away? I mean, that's
Yeah.
You look like you're ready to be set up for the game. So, are you in a fantasy league?
I am. Yeah, I had my first game, and I lost by 3 points. I
Oh.
needed the Buffalo kicker to kick that game-winning field goal, and I would have put me over the top. Instead, that Gibbons ran it back, and that was it.
That was so good, though. That was so good. Who's your best pick on your whole league?
Gosh, I don't even remember who I have. I don't know. Some running back. I picked 2 running backs right out of the gates. Guy from Tennessee. Can't remember his name, but
Derrick Henry.
Yeah, Derrick Henry. Thank you.
Are you in the league with him?
Say that again?
Is he in the league with you?
No, he's not. But he's like one of the best running backs in football. So pretty easy name to remember.
I got Mahomes on mine. So
that's a good move.
I did. I got the second thing, and the other girl is I don't she wasn't smart. So anyways, no one else from Kansas City in my league. That's the way to go, guys. All right, Chris, let's talk about your goals, both business and personal.
Yeah, boy, business goals, right? We are on track to do about double what we did last year. Even figuring that we were only in business for about half a year last year. So, which really means quadrupling what we did. So fingers crossed, all goes well. Holiday season, we'll see an uptick, which is great. And then it's about just doubling year over year. That's what a healthy CPG company does. And so we plan on being right on par with that. Oh boy, personal goals. I actually drove here just yesterday from the Vail area, as a matter of fact, Glenn. I was in Eagle, and we'll be doing a bunch of skiing this year. And, work-life balance and trying to, spend as much time with my family. My daughter just turned 12, and, it'll only be a few years till she wants nothing to do with me. So making the most of this age.
Do you just have the one child?
Yes.
And is she a Taylor Swift fan?
She's not. No, I think she's slightly on the young side for that. Although,
no, she's
she
not.
enjoys me. What's that?
Mine's 11, and you just got lucky.
She's a Swiftie. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Everyone is, but your daughter, like your daughter, is both making you money and saving you money all at the same time.
That's right.
Also, I didn't hear that one of your goals was to order that custom-made butter costume so you can have it before the end of the year. I think you might need it for the holiday season, Christopher.
It's funny. I'm thinking like my first thought when you said it was like a stick of butter, but now I realize it has to be one of our jars.
Hmm.
With the arm sticking out the side, and
you can go any way you want to with the costume. I just think a butter costume is what you need in your life.
Also, Glenn, for your lovely wife, I think you should get her a "Let's Cuddle" sweatshirt for the holidays. See what I did there? You can huddle and cuddle. It's good.
Yeah.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Look at that. I was like, we still have a lot of time left. I'm going to ask this question. We'll see how much time this takes. And then I just think this is really fun. I've been talking about this with people a little bit, and I gave you no heads up on this question. But we'll start with you, Fabian. When you were younger, like in that high school age, that college age, what did you want to do? What did you think you'd be doing as an adult? And what are you doing now that relates to some of those things?
Yeah, that's great. Growing up, like even younger than that as a kid, I just had this impression in my mind that I wanted to wear a suit and travel the world. And I wasn't sure how I was going to do it, but I wanted to like James Bond it. And at first I was like, maybe I'll be like a jewel thief, because it's exciting and there's money in it.
What?
But then, yeah, I know. And then as I got older, I was like, that probably is an easy way to end up in jail. So I got a degree in journalism. One of my degrees is in journalism. And I went the strategic communications route, which taught me about like marketing and advertising and business. And I got a job right out of college as a journalist covering emerging economies. So, when I prefaced that, I left Kansas City for a few years, I think I've talked about this on the show before, but I was able to, live in countries like Nigeria, Oman, the United Arab Emirates, Colombia, South America, Belgium. I was all over for 7 years and did projects in the United States as well, in oil-rich states like Texas and based out of Houston. And so I was able to somewhat manifest that idea or that dream of mine to go out and, travel the world in a suit and talk to really interesting people. And I got to interview, prime ministers like Meles Zenawi out of Ethiopia. I was in some really interesting places when really big global events happened, like the Arab Spring in Libya when Gaddafi got overthrown. I was in Ethiopia. I was in Ukraine in 2012, right before their civil war broke out, and I got to live this really fascinating and fulfilling life. And again, I learned this valuable lesson. There's no place like home. And just funny enough that Kansas City happens to be where my heart is, and I'm glad I got that out of my system, because now I can enjoy what I have, and I still wear suits and I still get to travel, when I'm not working remotely for conferences and to go meet up with clients and stuff like that. But yeah, I think that part of what I still get to do is I still get to discover, my clients' needs and learn about their story and how I can, help bring a solution to the table. Before I was trying to attract foreign direct investment to these countries. And now I just try to help retain as much of, their claims and their medical bills that I can, so these practices can stay afloat. So, long-winded, full circle, I feel like I got to live out my dream job for a moment in time. And now I get to experience, what it's like to do it kind of on my home base.
I love that. Well, Fabian took all the time up. I'm just kidding. No, that's really good. All right, Glenn. What about you?
So when I was real little, I wanted to be an astronaut. I mean, I just thought, man, going to the moon, that would be really, really cool. Well, as and my parents always encouraged me. They're like, you can do anything you want. I mean, just go for it. So, but then as I watched my dad grow up, and he was a sales guy for Kodak, and he spent over 30 years with Kodak. And I'm like, man, I just want to be like my dad and be a businessman and do that sort of thing. And from a small age, I've always been an entrepreneur. I would shovel driveways, I would mow lawns, I would sing Christmas carols, whatever it took to make money. So I'm doing what I love doing. I mean, I've been an entrepreneur my entire life, and it's I couldn't think about doing anything different. So I feel pretty blessed.
Funny, the kids, you can tell are entrepreneurs. Now that I know that's the thing, right? Because I was too. I can always tell, like my kids' friends, which ones are more entrepreneurial, and we'll see if I'm right. But I feel like I got it right.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
How about you, Chris? Chris, I had to put you on mute. Hold on. You have to unmute.
I think I did that myself. Thanks. I was just saying, my daughter's got the bug, so I learned to recognize it also. I'll echo what Glenn said. When I was a kid, I was, this predates the internet, but there was a company where you go around door to door, and I would sell customized greeting cards when I was like 10 years old. And so they would have to pay me, and I would send in their customizations, and we would get shipped back. When I was a little bit older, I would use my chemistry set to make plant food, and then I would go door to door in the neighborhood and sell it. I'm sure most of the people that bought it were doing it just to be nice. But in any case, it just fueled this entrepreneurialism in me. Like, what can I produce that adds value that someone is willing to pay for? And, I would want to be nowhere else than I am today because of that. Because, just being able to create something from, essentially nothing or raw materials or ingredients, and then turn that into something that people appreciate is just such a good feeling.
I love that. Isn't that weird how it always kind of comes full circle? I think that's the word Fabian used. How about you, Michael?
Oh, I always wanted to be in TV or on TV. or watch
did
it.
it.
So goal achieved.
In TV suggests the Willy Wonka situation.
Doesn't matter. I'd be happy with that. So, yeah. Also, Chris, fun fact: a kid in my neighborhood sold Christmas cards. You know, the customized Christmas cards when I was little. And so I did not want to steal his thunder. I wanted to find my own niche. So I sold high-end wrapping paper.
Yeah.
Oh, very good.
That was my niche, and it was very profitable as a 9-year-old.
Nice. That sounds great. Did you guys go door to door together? Because it would seem like they would
I didn't want anything to do with him. No.
That's hilarious. Okay, well, listen, that was an amazing show. Although our buddy Scott wasn't here. Scott, we miss you. But we do want to thank Fabian, thank Glenn, and thanks, Chris, so much for coming on. Thank you, Michael, so much for co-hosting. You were a great co-host as always. Thank you to Bank of Blue Valley and Burns & McDonnell for sponsoring the show. And I hope everybody has a fabulous day. We will be back here same time, same place next week. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.